If you're trying to cut out background noise with your hearing aids, then this video's for you. Have you ever flown on an airplane and popped on a pair of Bose headphones or Apple AirPods Pro? If you have, then you've probably enjoyed the experience of having the engine noise cut off almost completely. This significant reduction in background noise is due to something called active noise cancellation, which is often abbreviated ANC. Active noise cancellation is made possible by external microphones that are on your headphones or your earbuds that measure the external noise and then create an inverted sound wave to cancel out that noise. Go ahead and think of it like a game of football where you have a bunch of defensive linemen trying to sack the quarterback and you have a bunch of offensive linemen preventing that from happening. Unless, of course, you're my Chicago Bears because their offensive line can't stop anybody. Oh! When it comes to active noise cancellation, the concept is very simple. Take all of the sound that's around you, cancel all of it, and you're good to go. However, when it comes to canceling background noise with hearing aids, it ain't that easy. First of all, in most cases of hearing loss, you do not want to completely block your ears like you would with a pair of Bose headphones or Apple AirPods Pro. This is because we want to prevent something called insertion loss, which is an additional hearing loss that you give yourself just by plugging up your ears with something. This reduces your natural perception of sound and forces us to amplify sound in ranges of your hearing where you do not have a hearing loss. And amplified hearing is never as good as normal hearing in the frequencies that you still have normal hearing. We also want to avoid the occlusion effect, which is a phenomenon that occurs when you plug up your ear canals with something. Your voice gets bone conducted through your jaw, ends up in your ear canal, vibrates inside of your ear without being able to escape, making your own voice really boomy and loud to yourself, which makes it really hard to communicate with other people. In order to prevent insertion loss and the occlusion effect, we need to have an open passageway of sound in your ear canal that we call venting. Generally speaking, the less hearing loss that you have in your lower frequency ranges, the larger the vent needs to be. And here's the rub. If you have an open vent inside of your ear canal to optimize your ability to hear, background noise can also get into those vents. And if this happens, active noise cancellation is worthless. The second reason why using active noise cancellation just ain't that easy with hearing aids is because we're not just trying to cancel out all of the external sound. We're trying to cancel out background noise, but still be able to hear the voice of the person that you're talking to. Active noise cancellation does not discriminate whether it's jet engine noise or whether it's someone talking to you. If it's external to the headphones or the earbuds, it gets canceled. Think about it. These headphones have a very simple job. Just cancel everything external and give you whatever you're feeding into them, whether it's a YouTube video, a podcast, an audiobook, or whatever else you're trying to hear. So what do you do when you're a hearing aid user and you want to get rid of as much background noise as possible, but you still want to hear the person who's talking to you, and active noise cancellation is worthless? Well, that's where background noise reduction comes into play. Alright guys, hopefully you're enjoying this video so far. If you are, make sure that you hit that like button because it really helps out my channel. And if you are not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button with notification bell so you get notified every single time I publish a new video. And I publish a bunch of new videos every single week. That being said, it's greatly appreciated. Now back to the video. Noise reduction is something made possible by digital signal processing inside of a hearing aid. Before digital hearing aid technology existed, the role of a hearing aid was rather basic. Just amplify everything. The goal of digital noise reduction is to identify which sounds in your environment are noise, give less amplification to that, but keep the amplification for the speech of the person talking to you. The way that this works is that all sounds that the hearing aids pick up come into the hearing aids and get broken up into different little channels, which I like to call buckets. Each bucket will have a certain amount of sound inside of a very particular frequency range. For example, a hearing aid with 20 processing channels would break up all of the sound that it receives into 20 separate buckets. Inside of each of these buckets, you'll either have speech signals, noise signals, or a combination of speech and noise. For the hearing aid to determine what is speech and what is noise, it has to look at the modulation characteristics of those sounds. Speech has fewer modulations with greater modulation depth. Noise, on the other hand, has a lot of modulations, but the depth of those modulations are not very large. Now, you've probably seen this before without realizing it, but if you've ever looked at an audio recording with somebody talking, you would see a lot of peaks and valleys inside of that recording. recording, but if you looked at a recording of just background noise, you would not see a lot of peaks and valleys. It would stay relatively steady. If a channel or bucket has primarily speech or has a combination of speech and noise, the hearing aid knows to leave the amount of amplification so you can actually get access to that speech. Depending on your situation, digital noise reduction works, and it works really well, but there are some limitations. Imagine that you're driving in a car and you want to reduce the amount of road noise that you're hearing. Hearing aids with a significant amount of noise reduction when you're driving in the car can reduce this road noise without negatively impacting your ability to hear someone talking to you. Is the road noise reduced as much as if you were wearing a pair of active noise cancellation headphones? The answer to that is no. But the active noise cancellation headphones would also cancel out the speech. You also have to keep in mind that with digital noise reduction, you're not necessarily improving your signal to noise ratio. Oftentimes people will report that they notice that the noise is at a lower level, but their intelligibility of speech does not always go up. Also, not all hearing aids are created equal when it comes to digital noise reduction. Some work better than others. For instance, here is the measured amount of digital noise reduction for 3 premium hearing aids from 3 different hearing aid manufacturers, verified with real ear measurement. The higher the number in decibels, the more noise reduction that hearing aid is capable of. As you can see, the best hearing aid in this comparison gives between 9 and 10 decibels of noise reduction, while the worst hearing aid in this comparison only gives 3 decibels of noise reduction. So if digital noise reduction is something that you feel would be important to you, you need to make sure that your hearing care professional selects a device that has a significant amount of noise reduction capability. And it is always a good idea to have them verify the amount of noise reduction that you receive using test box measures and probe microphone measures. Now, having the ability to use a lot of noise reduction is terrific, but you also do not want to overdo it. In some cases, if you use too much noise reduction, this can have a negative impact as well, because you end up shutting off too much of the world around you. All right, guys, pro tip here. If you are wondering how much noise reduction you really need, you can have your hearing care professional program different programs with a different level of noise reduction. Or you can use some smartphone apps to adjust your level of noise reduction, and once you identify the appropriate amount, your hearing care professional can set that up permanently for you. I would also say that noise reduction always seems to work better when your hearing aids have been programmed to your hearing loss prescription and verified with real ear measurement. If you have not had real ear measurement performed on your hearing aids, I would highly recommend it if you want to get the full amount of benefit out of your hearing aids. At the end of the day, if you were expecting your hearing aids to be able to remove as much background noise as a set of active noise canceling headphones, you now know why that is not possible. However, just because you cannot use active noise cancellation with your hearing aids doesn't mean that you cannot remove a significant amount of noise from your environment. Just make sure that you have the right hearing aids programmed to your hearing loss prescription with the proper amount of noise reduction built in, and you should be able to hold your own anytime you're in a background noise situation.